Hi there everyone, my name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Today we're going to be doing a little Zappa. That's right, we're taking a look at good old Frank. And we're looking at out of the albums I own thus far, definitely one of my favorite albums. Well-rounded album. Zoot, Allures. I'm not going to get into the band on this one because there's various members on each song, depending on the song. Most of the songs, according to the liner notes, are studio tracks, except for one. This is a really fun album. It really is. I mean, Zappa albums, I always find Zappa albums really fun. I really always enjoy the lyrical content, because the lyrical content, while sometimes being a little goofy or silly or outrageous, is also great satire, great political commentary. There is a lot with Zappa. Like, the dude was really heady, you know what I'm saying? And I dig that about Zappa. I really appreciate that. And this is a really good album that way. I will say, though, that, you know, the bulge might be a tad bit unnecessary. The bulge. Battle of the Bulge here. Well, I shouldn't say Battle of the Bulge. Zap's got all the bulge. All the other guys look like they've been forcibly castrated on the covers. Well, not forcibly castrated, you know what I'm saying. Zap's displaying the bulge, no one else is. Alright, let's get into the actual album. So, the album opens up with "Wind Up Working in a Gas Station." Don't know if you can hear the cicada in the background. I love cicada. Although when you're recording, it's a little annoying. Okay, so the album, "Wind Up Working in a Gas Station." Fun song. Really gets the album going on the right kind of vibe. Musically, got this kind of cool, slow groove to it. Lyrically, I mean, it's all about... the concept of working in a gas station definitely wouldn't have the same vibe today. It might actually, you know, you tell someone that you're working in a gas station, it might still have the same vibe today. I'm not sure how that would work. But once upon a time, you definitely did not want to be a guy like in your 30s or 40s working in a gas station. That was considered a young guy's job. Now, if you're a mechanic, it was a little bit different. But we're talking about, you know, pumping the gas every night. Pumping the gas every night. I don't know how they do it that high in here. Oh my god, that's brutal on the throat. Excuse me. Wow. Alright. But like I said, we're working in wind up working in a gas station. Really gets the album going. Now, this album has 3 instrumental breaks in it. I'm going to call them instrumental breaks, or 3 instrumental pieces. The first one is "Black Napkins," which is the only track on this album that I noticed in the liner notes is marked as specifically being live. Black Napkins is one of Frank's famous guitar pieces. You can find it on other albums before. I believe I've actually talked about Black Napkins while doing the Shut Up and Play Your Guitar series. Great tune, really is. This is kind of where it would have appeared first, before "Shut Up and Play Your Guitar." I should mention also, this is number 22 in the catalog. So if you're one of my people that, you know, pay attention to the Zappa albums I've covered and what numbers are covered, this is number 22. After "Black Napkins," we go into my favorite song on this album, which I had a great incident with this week. Well, by the time you watch this, it would have been like 2 weeks ago. Listening to "The Torture Never Stops." Frank's own wife has said that he was a misogynist, okay? And when you listen to a song like "The Torture Never Stops," it's not hard to believe to a degree. Frank really loved getting into song with lyrical content in his songs about kinky sex stuff as well. And "The Torture Never Stops" is definitely a total S&M kind of song. Not a bad S&M song, you know, it's the right type of S&M song. including all the ladies sounding like she's happy. The funny part of this story is I was on the bus, because I've been listening to the album a few times, getting in the mood for it to do the review, and I forgot how loud I had my headphones up, and The Torture Never Stops comes on, and I start getting weird looks from people, and all of a sudden I realize they probably think I'm watching porn, because I've got my phone in my hand playing Pokemon Go, and I've got moaning, high pitch, cliche porn voices coming out of my headphones, most likely where they can hear them. So here I'm like, oh, turn that down, make sure everybody can see I'm playing Pokemon Go on my phone. Great song, almost clocks in at 10 minutes, but solid 10 minutes. After that, we get into Ms. Pinky. Ms. Pinky is a great song to follow up after The Torture Never Stops, going from the one and the other. I like the way it kind of tells the story. It's kind of fun that way. And Zappa's always good with that with his albums. When he's putting songs together, he always does give it a nice flow. Miss Pinky, musically, one thing about this album that's really cool is each song is honestly kind of different from the next. Like, Wind Up Working at Gas Stations kind of got this slow kind of chug going on, like it's sucking back gas, a car sucking back gas almost. Kind of cool that way. Black Napkins, I don't want to say it sounds like Black Napkins, but it's got this really cool sound. You would have thought it was Steve Vai. Definitely helped inspire Steve Vai. A lot of Steve Vai influenced what would have influenced Steve Vai on this album for sure. Black Napkins definitely has that kind of vibe to it. The Torture Never Stops is definitely a slower kind of tune, but it's not a slow song. It's just got a slower groove to it. It's, darker, groovier, Miss Pinky's kind of got this cool little drum beat in there, because, of course, Terry Bozzio, I know he's all over this album. And it's not your standard drum beat, which is kind of cool. It gives it a little more of a kind of a jazz, upbeat, jazzy kind of kink kind of vibe, the way that this song's kind of played out. And it works really well, going from kind of like a slow groove into this kind of like upper-paced, jazzy kind of kink. And then from there, we go into Find Her Finer. And Find Her Finer is just kind of more like your basic, slinky, kind of sexy kind of song, Nothing overly complicated to the music, but you can really kind of appreciate and dig what it's going. But the instrumentation in it at the same time, while it's got that slower, kinky kind of vibe to it, the instrumentation's not necessarily what you would expect, like they throw elements in there that just seem a little off-putting. Like this song could have been a little more strippery, and it sounds a little more cowgirlish, sort of, if that almost makes sense. Then we get into Wonderful Wino. I love listening to Wonderful Wino on the album, but I swear to God, the second I'm not listening to the song, I blank on it. And I shouldn't, because it really is a really good song. Like, I mean, I've listened to it 3 separate times right before I go to put this review on to remind myself how it sounds. And even now, as I'm talking about it, I'm like, come on, Wonderful Wino, click, 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 and, it just not turning over the right way. But really, when it comes on the album and it's playing through the album, I enjoy the song. It's a wonderful song. Did I mention Friendly? I'm sorry, I skipped Friendly Little Finger. Okay, so after Find Her Finer, we have Friendly Little Finger, okay? That is another instrumental piece. Friendly Little Finger is definitely more of a jazzy instrumental piece. Really kind of cool vibe to it. But out of the 3 musical pieces on here, it's the one I appreciate the least. Then is Wonderful Wino, as I mentioned. After that, we get into the album's title track, Zoot Allures, which is actually the 3rd and final instrumental track on here. And definitely, once again, this one is very much, you can tell, was an inspiration to Steve Vai. I believe I've covered the Bad Horsey album. Or, sorry, Alien Love Secrets. That's it. I believe I've covered Alien Love Secrets, which is the album that's got Bad Horsey on it. There's another track on there called Tender Surrender. And Zoot, Allures and Tender Surrender, there's definitely, I think it's Tender Surrender I'm thinking of. Great comparison in them. Or I might be thinking of the wrong album or the wrong song. Jeez. It happens. But the point is there are different songs all over the place in Steve Vai's catalog that definitely I can see Zoot, Allure really inspired. And then the album ends with Disco Boy. Now, I'm surprised that Frank put this on at the end of the album to close it out. I get why he does. It ends the album on a really, really kind of fun vibe. Really fun notion. And I really dig it and really get into it. Disco Boy, though, compared to every other song on this album, doesn't quite fit. Disco Boy is a song that would have been, to me, more fitting maybe a couple albums down the line than it was on here. Just because the social commentary behind it sounds like something that would have been off either Chic Your Booty or possibly even Joe's Garage. And on here, it seems a little out of place. Whereas on those two albums, it definitely would have fit in really well. But that one extra song on here that doesn't sound like anything else really makes a big difference. And I really enjoy it for that reason. If you haven't picked up any Zappa before, Zoot, Allures is actually a really cool spot to start. I would suggest it. I would definitely say get into it and give it a really good play. Once again, lyrical content on a few songs, maybe not for everybody. The Torture Never Stops. It's not for everybody, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. Well, I did bring up that misogynistic kind of warning in there. Every woman I have ever spent any time dating enough to put Frank Zappa on for them to hear while they're in the house has really immensely enjoyed the song because it is just a fantastic song, even if the content is a little odd. So you can't necessarily say don't play it around women. It doesn't work like that because lots of women actually really dig Zappa. You know, not the uptight ones, but there are honestly a lot of women out there that really, truly, honestly dig Zappa. But be careful when you're, you know, getting into this and listening to this in mixed company. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Those are my views. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Please feel free to share this video. Help get it out there. Otherwise, peace, love, take care.